What up, everybody? It be Sunday, Mother's Day. But yet, I'm out in the garage. I love it. Little chilly this morning, nothing serious. Kind of got the heater rolling. Shit, I don't know why. Turn the heat on a little bit, but anyway, we are messing with this hood. Have been for quite some time. Pain in the butt. Alright, so these are runs of epox, or that's resin runs on the back side of the hood from where I did the repairs and whatnot. But we've gotten 90% of it off. I don't know yet. I don't think I'm going to take this all. This is sanded down thin. A lot of sanding on that, but I don't know if I want to mess with those body lines. I just don't want to screw them up. Got the paint off of them and all the primers and yada yada yada, but basically have got the whole hood sanded down. This frickin' gel coat is thick, strong, no joke. Okay, it sucks. Oh, it sucks to sand. Okay, I had to whip out the big compressor. Okay, that thing there is bad to the bone. It's one of my boss's compressors. It's a Sailor Beal, and this boy gets her done. It will run 2 DAs idling. Full blast. I mean, it kick on every now and again, but it's crazy how bad to the bone that compressor is compared, something like this. It'll run my DA strong for the first 10 minutes or so, but after the pressure just continuously drops. It tries to keep up, but I got to put a fan on this thing and to keep it cool. I don't want to torture that poor little thing anymore. So to get it sanded down, we hooked up the big compressor and got 2 DAs going on it, and it's quite a pain in the butt. Okay, let's see here. I turned this into what I call a hog. Okay, I even got her marked on there. I welded the spherical bearing in there, so this operates like a grinder now. Okay, so this spins versus just sitting still and shaking like a normal DA. It will take that stuff off in no time. Okay, problem is it kind of leaves your fiberglass lumpy and bumpy. Okay, and it's not good. So in order to keep the hood somewhat smooth and, I don't know, easy, I'm trying to get the hood smooth so we don't have to use as much high build primers. Okay, trying to kind of eliminate some of the sanding before we got to start sanding. And that's what took so long, man. 80 grit, these things winging, man, just full blown, and it's took us forever to get that off there. Oh my God, I mean, it was horrible. Things that we fixed. Okay, the hood is not quite in position. Okay, I still got to do a little bit of trimming and whatnot, but this here used to come down and there was a huge gap right here. Okay, so we filled all this in. I basically filled in this whole piece right here. Had to bring this bottom up because there was a big gap between there. So we filled this side in along with the other side. We did as well. We also filled our bottom holes. Got Bondo over them now, but it's fiberglass backed. I mean, it was all. And these repairs are all done on both sides, okay? So I didn't just back it with fiberglass. I kind of ground this all down thin and put a front side and a back side to it, so it like it's captured, for other words. Did the same thing on the front here. That was all fiberglassed in. Filled a couple of holes that were right there that were for mounting them bolts. There'd be 2 bolts in the front. I didn't like that, so we got rid of them. And then we did this here too. Got this side all straightened out. I know the body lines aren't right yet because I want to sand do some of this blocking and stuff before we go cutting that, so I don't round no edges. But I've got a little thing that's gonna mark my body line off of the car. It'll put a line on this body and I'll just grind it back. But for the most part it's close. It needs some finessing. But as you can probably see, there are some steel rods in that hood, okay? Oh, Jester dog. Oh, Jester dog. Hi, Bubby. Hi, bud. What are you doing? Loving that sun. So you can kind of see what's happening here because you can see them through the hood. That's not paint. That is the black from the panel bond. But these are plates that are welded in the hood. Not welded in the hood, they're panel bonded to the back side of the hood. I'm going to flip it open and I'm going to show you the inside of what we've done. But yesterday I started to fill the holes. I used panel bond to kind of get the holes filled. And these holes weren't this big, they were just 1/8 inch holes. And this is where I used Clecos, which I know all you guys probably know what Clecos are, but I'll show you. Oh, there's my bucket of Clecos. There it is. This is a Cleco, okay? But the Cleco's what I used to hold the plates in place while the panel bond dried. And then once the panel bond dries, you take the Clecos out and you're left with holes. Well, those holes were just little 1/8 inch holes. And I don't know, I was a little worried about them filling correctly. Yeah, I can't find it in my garages, man. This is a mess. We worked yesterday and went to town and the day before and just ain't been doing much cleaning, just trying to get stuff done. I need to organize. But I used a 45 reamer bit and just hit the holes with the reamer and kind of opened them up, so it gave me some surface to fill those, get something in there. So we're just going to Bondo over the top of those and get them done. But we also added some strength to the hood as far as reinforcement. Let me get this thing up and I'll show you what I did on the inside. Alright, so I can see that fiberglass that. I am gonna sand all this down. If you can see that stuff, you see that? Like you can see where I've ground and it's not, but where it isn't, something's on there. Ain't looking too good. I don't like this stuff right here. I need to get that out of there. So I'm gonna sand the whole back of this thing so that I can put a nice layer of paint back here. But anyway, filled them 2 holes, backed it, did it on the front as well. This area of the hood right here, we put strengtheners in. Not strengtheners, I just put an extra 2 layers. I put a 5-inch piece and then an 8-inch piece to cap it so we didn't have sharp edges building up on top of each other. So I got that all strengthened up, and I strengthened it all the way out, you dig? So all this is nice and thick, and man, it's good. We had a crack here prior. This side here was broken here. So this repair actually kind of goes up and into this area here. So but still messing with her a little bit. Yesterday, when I put the hood on and we fitted it, it kind of pulled in a little bit past and was sucked like in past the body, you know. So I went ahead and added a little bit of fiberglass to the back side of this hole right here, which is why that hole's like, I just drilled it so I could see the hole in there anyway. Add a little bit of fiberglass on both sides, that one too, to bring the hood out, you know, because it sits against this. So I backed it a little bit so it would bring the hood out even with the body on both sides. So I believe that I've got the hood fitted as far as like it's good now. Like it's where it needs to be. Okay, but the hood was out of shape. Like when we first started, this hood on the sides, you'd set the hood on, and on both sides the hood would stick out about here, and you would have to push the hood in to get it to go to these, right? You had to push it down and in, and you would grab a hold of this every single time. It would just doosh, doosh, you know, it was hitting this corner. So we were going to end up chipping paint and all that, and it was just a pain in the butt to get the hood on. So that's the reason for these steel rods, okay? The steel rods do two things. They support this completely cut open gap, okay, so that they don't, before they would bend, you know, and I'm going to put a hood scoop there, you know, it's going to be with fiberglass and whatnot, so I didn't want it to crack it. So this supports, these two support the hood and keep this hole relative to itself, right? These here pulled this side in and pushed this side down, okay? So that's what this one's doing. It reshaped these outside edges. So, and like I say, those are the screw holes in the plate where you just put Clecos, which I put them from the outside in, and I just panel bonded everything and Clecoed it, cleaned it up real nice. I did tape the squares off so that I didn't have panel bond all over the place to wipe off and whatnot. So they turned out real good. Got that done. Got that in there. So I am gonna add some stiffeners to this here because this boy is just, look at that. I'm not gonna be able to make it too stiff, but I just want to add a little bit of support maybe here. I think I ain't 100% sure yet, but might do that, might not, I don't know. But today's job is going to be getting all of this crap. See, you can see it. See how it's nice clean where I've grinded and done repairs? And then over here, it's got something. I don't know what it is. Dirt, debris, whatever. We're going to get that stuff out here. The black, that's the, on the other side, that's the, you know, the old, what's left of the gel coat. So we're just trying to get this stuff out of there, because I am going to paint the inside of this the same color as this, and it's going to be the same color as the roll cage and whatnot. So I do have epoxy. I'm not putting gel coat back on it, okay? I don't want the stress cracks that come along with that. I don't know if there's stress cracks that come along with high build primer and epoxy or not, but we're gonna find out, okay? But I do know the gel coat cracks, and heat is really bad for gel coat. Like, they say that you don't want to get gel coat up above 120 degrees. Well, the sun does that on its own. Plus, it's got a freaking little monster small block underneath there, just hotter than shit, right? So it's just, I don't know, something about that just telling me not to do it. So we're gonna do epoxy inside and out on the hood, and then the outside's gonna get the high build primer, and the inside's just gonna get single stage, whatever that color is. I can't remember the damn color. We've been at this so long. Something gray, gun smoke gray or something like that. Anyway, But that's where we're at. And plus we've also got the hood scoop. I don't know if I'm gonna sand all this off. I don't know yet. That paint there is just on there like nobody's business. So anyway, there was a crack right here, and you can still see kind of the crack, but that has been repaired on both sides, fiberglass mat and resin. And then around the edges, like the front here, this is cut now to accept the hood. You know, this is, I got it trimmed to fit the hood now. But you can kind of see, let's see if I put it up in the light. If I put it up in the light, there you go. You can see the chunks that were missing out of it. Those are fixed. Cracks and whatnot. We backed. I ain't even got nowhere to set this stuff down at. My garage is such a freaking disaster. But hey, let's just be honest. I'm keeping it real here, okay? I ain't cleaning the garage up, making it look like I'm all professional and whatnot before I put a video up, okay? This is a garage, okay? This is what they look like, okay? This is what they look like. 90% of them, okay? I understand guys out there with that, I don't know what, okay? But I ain't that guy, okay? I'm kind of get it done. We'll clean it up whenever we get it cleaned up. But anyway, we went ahead and backed the inside of this all the way around. Oh, got her backed. And then on the back right here, this is not going to be fiberglass to anything. So this is just going to free span. This is where it gets mounted from this corner forward, this corner forward. This all is just going to float the hood, okay? It kind of floats over the top of the car a little bit. So I stiffened that up with 3 pieces of fiberglass to give that some good rigidity, or whatever we want to call it. Yeah, so this here is ready. We're going to do the body work on it, which we kind of started and messing around with a little bit, but I wasn't for sure what I wanted to do, so we stopped, and now we are going to do that. So I'm going to get the body work done on this, and get the high build primer on it, sand it, and have the body work done on this before I attach it to the hood. I know that sounds wild, but everything gets attached from the inside. Okay, so as long as there's no paint or primer on the inside of there and the bottom edge, then we're good. Okay, so I'm just trying to eliminate a lot of the sanding vibrations and flexing and all that when the hood scoops on, you know. Just kind of, we're gonna knock all the sanding on the hood scoop down as much as we possibly can. We're gonna do the epoxy and the high build primer on the hood first without putting it on. I'm gonna tape off, I gotta trace it, but I'm gonna tape off, you know, I'm gonna probably go, I don't know, an inch from where the hood scoop's gonna be, tape it off, and do our first coats of high build and sand and block it down first, kind of get it roughed in, and then I'll put the hood scoop on, get it all mounted, get all that done, and then we're gonna put another 3 coats of high build primer on. Okay, it doesn't mean we're gonna have 6 coats of primer on this thing. We'll use 6 coats. We'll sand off 4 or 5 of them. You get what I'm saying? So it's just to get everything nice and flat and round, whatever we want to call it. Okay, we're trying to make her look like a marble. You ever tried to sand a marble? It ain't easy. And that's what this car is a huge freaking marble. But that's the plan. So no, I knew this was going to take a while. I knew it. But we're making strides. The gel coat is finally sanded enough to where we can start building on top of it. Fiberglass work's done on the hood except for the hood scoop, but we'll get that. So, damn, 20 minutes of blabbing. I had no idea I went that long. But anyway, I'm sorry for taking 20 minutes of your day. So I was gonna try and shorten it up, but I don't know. I rewatched it and I like it. It's good. It'll work. Okay. We're gonna keep trying, guys. We're gonna get this thing done. All right. This is the last step. This is the last step. So, well, it ain't the last step. We got miles ahead of us. But as far as the getting this thing ready for paint, man, we're getting there. We're trying. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you sticking around. If you stuck around this long for 20-something minutes. But anyway, all right. Well, like I always tell you, love your neighbor. Peace, chick grease.